Hello, Core 3 Beauties. This is Marcos, and this is our week 8 to 9 recap briefing video. Just want to quickly go over what our next steps are now that we've completed our Project 2 digital forms project with a great treat critique last night. We had lots of amazing digital projects, and I just want to express a big thank you to all of you for putting your head and your heart and your hand into the project and really pushing yourselves to make a great project that demonstrates your overall concept on the prompt of beauty and on the research you developed in the first few weeks of class, and then on the built upon what you did with your amazing print projects. And now you have two pieces that work together around that theme. So now we're going to be going further into our exploration for our final project 3 on creating a cohesive brand that does design for good and creates something that tries to solve a social issue or individual issue. But here's the workflow for coming week. We have two more videos left. We have a video on art direction that you guys should all see, and make sure you're keeping up with all the videos. And then next week we'll have one more after that. But the main focus, besides watching that video, is to continue with your Project 3 research. We met last week, or this week on Tuesday, individually to talk about the various causes you had researched. And now you should be focused in on one based on our conversation. And from there, I want you to begin to develop further research on that cause, and then begin to strategize what your brand is about and conceptualize a name for it, and do some design inspiration research towards how you will project that brand into reality. And then we'll have reviews of those decks on Tuesday, and we may spill some over to Thursday if you don't have enough time, but everyone should be ready to present on Tuesday your research decks, and I'll go over what that entails. But again, this is just an overview of the full project and how our goal is really to get to the end of the rainbow here, to try to create something that's going to promote human flourishing based on the foundation of an overarching idea of beauty, and us all being in collaboration with reality, trying to create something that's going to give some kind of invisible embrace of love to whoever we're trying to help create change for in a positive way. And it starts at the left side with identifying some individual needs or some social causes that require light shedding or implementation of strategic ways of making it work better and be to get rid of something, or better yet, to add something positive. And so as we go through it, we're going to be doing a new brand concept strategy, as we're doing now, with a brand name development. So the first two steps are where we're at right now. The next week we'll go into the logo design and the standards design, and creating some base touch points just to show the vision of the brand in some small mock-ups. And then from there, we'll make our two main touch points. Our two big projects with this will be to create both a print and a digital piece that are the main tools for how your brand will work in communicating its strategic goals. So our next step now is to do this part 2 research presentation. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to build on what we had developed in the initial research for your cause, and create some further research that helps explain what your cause is. You're going to look into either partner or competitive organizations or brands that are doing a similar kind of work that could be a good influence for you, or good information for us to help create best solutions for you. You'll create 2 or 3 small case studies on that. And then I want you to start thinking about who your target audience is, who you want to specifically focus in on in terms of your communication. And then to begin, just build a basic brand strategy. And like I said in the beginning of the project, we could delve quite deeply into building a brand strategy, but for this project, we're just going to kind of do the basics and try to create some core values or create some goals, and just kind of summarize in an easy to understand, quick way what you're trying to do with your brand, so that you have a foundation for what the brand stands for, and you're able to create a graphic direction with a roadmap to get you to where you want to go. And then you're going to address how social issues and the ways you'll communicate to your audiences. In other words, how can you take this brand and utilize the idea of a key print and a key digital, or I should say key analog and a key digital product? How can you use those two things to focus in on the way to both communicate to your audience and to solve the issue that you have at hand? And then finally, I want you guys to create your brand name, the name of your organization or of your company. And maybe you have one that works, or maybe you have a couple to consider. So I'm just show you now an example of what this looks like in terms of a past students project. And this is just an overview of all the pieces, but I'll go through it in a more direct way by first focusing in on the basic research section. And basically this section here should pretty much be what you already have. Maybe you just have these first 2 pages if you did just really basic research for your initial project. So basically, I just want you to find more information about whatever your issue is, more of a perspective, more foundational knowledge for both you and us to understand. It doesn't have to be, 4 additional pages. It doesn't have to be about whatever's on the screen. This is just an example of another student's project. Whatever best is a way to get some statistics, some data, some information about what this issue is about. And mostly you're looking for the insights. Like within this kind of information, there should be a way that we look at it and critically think about it and say, okay, the opportunity here lies in what's going on with this piece of data. And that way we can then zero in on a strategy based on knowing some information that's based on research in this industry or whatever you're working on. So let's do some of that. And then from there, with that kind of further knowledge of your issue, then begin to conceptualize a set of goals. Like what do you think you can do? What have we already discussed in terms of possibilities, and lay out a set of goals that are sort of the basis of your strategy. And then think about who is it that you're after in terms of communicating, in terms of whether it's somebody who's perpetrating the problem, or whether it's somebody who's a victim of the problem, or somebody who's even better, someone who's has the opportunity to cause change or to be a part of the solution. And so identify your audience, and this is also key. Like, don't take this for granted. Think about it carefully so that you're finding ways to uniquely solve a problem. I want to stay away from the just kind of stereotype activism, and just not focus solely on creating campaigns that just call for change. Of course, that's very important and good, but what I'm looking for here are a solution-based brand that takes those cries for help and then looks at ways of creating solutions in a very practical, individual, hands-on way that calls for people to motivate themselves to do something to make change for the better, and to solve the problem one person at a time. And then from there, and this is out of order, this is the sets of no, it's not out of order. Sorry. After you create, yes, it is out of order. Okay, so let's just not lose our heads here. So, okay, so this is the sets of research you would be doing for the competitors or the partners. This is like 2 pages each that showcase who would be that, who's out there in the global world and the local world, who's out there doing charitable work, doing advocacy work, who's out there solving the problems for your issue already. How can we learn from them? And that should have come before the target audience, before the goal, and after the initial research. So I'm just going to write on tape, change that order so we can, so I don't have to start over again. So, okay, so let's just do a quick review. So you're going to have your intro page. You're going to elaborate on your issue with further data, and then from there you're going to look at who the competitors are. And this is 3 examples. You can do 2, but spend some time finding out what's going out there. Look at the kind of brands out there. Look at the personality, and then from there, we develop a goals for your brand. We develop and identify the target audience, and then from there we create a strategy. And with the strategy, it's just really about kind of think about it in practical terms. Think about it with the end result being that you'll be communicating some kind of product or some kind of concept or some kind of service or some kind of mechanism even to raise money, a way to help the problem by tapping into people's everyday needs, and maybe even changing the way you look at solving the problem by taking it from a local problem in one part of the world and utilizing a more charitable and privileged audience that has abilities to donate by making purchases and using the free market to buy things that can then be vehicles for fundraising for the needs in other places and tap into the big hearts of Americans. That's always kind of a good strategy for problems that seem insurmountable. And then start developing around your strategy, start developing some kind of core values in the brand and what the positive, not the positive, the personality is, and how you can give attributes to the brand so that when you begin to design your visuals, you can have a goal in mind that you need to reflect back on. And then from there, create kind of a punch list of the kind of applications or products or assets you want to create. And of course, this is kind of baked in a little bit because we do want to be thinking about analog, a main analog and a main digital. And here you can kind of, even though this wasn't the goal of this project from last year or a couple of years ago, we can see that it is kind of like the advertising campaign could be considered the analog spatial campaign, and you can see that the mobile and the game could be the digital applications, and that so it'd be kind of it'd be 2 digital and 1 analog, or several analogs, but this is still in that same format that we need to follow. And then from there, just kind of create a vision board of what that plan could look like and how in this case, an app and a campaign could come together, both in the analog and digital world, and create the solution for this specific issue. And then from there, it's about coming up with your brand name, having it be something that would resonate and make sense for your audience, but also give it some meaning and some some bullet points that help define why you're picking your name. And this will help you kind of also know that you have a good idea because you're able to write out something that justifies it being the name. And then you can do 1 of these, or you can do 2 or 3, or however many ideas you have. And that's something we can talk about together in class to help decide where you're going to go. And then, of course, always put that thank you page on there. And you guys are so good at that, even though I never do it. Okay, so this is, again, just the list of where we're at. We're going into week 9. We're going to week 9, brand concepts. After we do all that, it'll be time to design the logo. And if you find yourself at that point and you want to start designing the logo, you can, because we're trying to accelerate the process, but I'm trying to be kind of Karate Kid here and not do too many things too fast. So let's just kind of leave it at the brand name and name options, and then focus on the design for next week. And we only have a few days, so it's probably, we can start after Tuesday to design the logo. All right, and then we'll do on week 11 finalize the logo, create those base touch points to show the kind of the brand as a living entity. And then from there, on weeks 12, 13, 14, 15 is when we're focused on doing our digital and our print pieces. And then on 16, we'll have our big final review. And so here's the updated website, the Vimeo site for the next video. And you can see I'm such a nerd. I'm like ahead of the game. I already turned mine in. Some of you may have seen it on the YouTube page, but that's not due till next week. But in fact, if you watch this week, it's not bad because it is talking about branding, and this is exactly what we're doing. So I wouldn't mind if you did go ahead and watch this video. It's only like 35 minutes. But the art direction video is up. In fact, if you want to switch, I'm going to do mine this week and 7 on art direction next week. That might not be bad because mine will help on this project. So definitely either do both or do mine, but watch a video this week. All right, and then a reminder, as we talked about in class, our newest math equation has to do with understanding that something being hard is something being worth doing. And if you want to be happy, do something that's difficult. So I'm here to provide you with all the ingredients for happiness and love and joy, because I want this project now to be the thing that you are focused on, that you're pushing yourself on, that you're finding yourself putting in a lot of time towards, and let the tears roll when needed, so that in the end we can all have tears of joy for the amazing work we can do. Just a reminder, you proved already with these first 2 assignments just how deep and how well-versed and how talented and how expert you already are on this thing called design that we're studying. We already know that. You revealed it, you showed it. Now let's implement that again. Let's utilize those powers you have to create this new brand in the highest form possible, and just really push yourself to do the most wonderful work you can do, and so that we can celebrate that together at the end. We got lots of time, so let's like kind of like recharge, get energized, and get ready for the long march towards success. All right, I think that's it. I will see you guys on Tuesday, and have a productive Friday and weekend. And do reach out if you have any questions, but look forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday to see your research text. Take care.